There's no time for tired. This starts again tomorrow. He'll be waiting for me. I wake up for him. I know he needs me, but I'm the lucky one. Even though I need help now and then.
If you're caring for a loved one, visit aarp.org/caregiving for care guides and community, or call 877-333-5885. Caregiving Resource Center. Support for your strength. Brought to you by AARP and the Ad Council.
My Hometown is made possible by Herald Community Newspapers. For more local news, visit liherald.com. Got a story to tell? Call 516-569-4000.
WHBC.
And now we return to My Hometown.
Welcome back to My Hometown. I'm your host, Bill Horan, and today I'm talking to Steve Klein, the ex-chief of the Oceanside Volunteer Fire Department and the first vice-president of FASNY, the Firemen's Association of the State of New York. Steve, we were talking about the camaraderie before the break, and in any profession or business, there's always what we call war stories, interesting stories of people you came across or events. And a fireman, you must have literally volumes of these, either funny, unique, poignant, or heartfelt. So can you tell us some of those stories?
Well, it's hard. It's very hard for me to talk about a lot of stuff. I was at a fire one time where we had a couple of children did not survive the fire. It was pretty tragic. That was my first experience with what can happen, really seeing what could happen. I've been to many fires where people just do stupid things, and it's so heart-wrenching when people, take the batteries out of their smoke detectors and put it in the remote for the TV, and then we have a tragedy. It's just very heart-wrenching. But there are plenty of funny stories too. But just the way people are and how they react in different situations, it's just.
How about the funny stories? Do you ever wind up jumping on the fire engine and going to the wrong house, or when you get there, the lady tells you she wanted you just to put the fire out on the candle or something that most of us wouldn't expect? But
I can remember we went to one fire and the woman was at the front door of the house and the smoke was rolling out over her head, and she was yelling at the firefighters to take their boots off before they went in and walked on her white carpeting. So I remember that one. And people, they're in a panic mode and they're not really thinking about what's happening around them, and it leads to them to doing some pretty funny things. But
I actually had a friend once who they had just moved to a new location, and it was kind of the kitchen fire, a small thing, but she got very excited, and when she called up, she gave the wrong address. So she had them going to a totally different town because she just panicked and got very nervous, et cetera, et cetera.
Sometimes people in their panic will yell into the phone the address, but forget to tell you what town they're in. When they dial 911, they'll give the street address, and then what happens is different fire departments that have that street. The Fire Communications Center over in Westbury has a computer that tells all that. We'll say for the example, Smith Street. They'll know that there are 6 Smith Streets with the number that the person gave, and they'll dispatch 6 fire departments to those just to make sure we get to the right one.
Wow.
So
they really have to do that?
Absolutely.
And by the way, I was kidding you a bit before about it, but as a volunteer fire person, if the bell goes off at 2 a.m. and you just got back from a wedding or something, excuse me, and you're tired, you still have to get up and be out of that fire.
Yeah, that's what you do. I told you before that I retired from the Postal Service. When I was a letter carrier and when I was chief of the fire department, I would get up sometimes at 1 o'clock in the morning and go directly from the fire to work at 6. And work all day and then try to get some sleep at night.
We really can't thank you enough. I don't think we really understand that background. And you can't just shake your head at 2 o'clock and say, no, I don't want to go to that one. You better be out there if it's your turn, right?
You can, but if there's 200 people in the fire department and 199 of them shake their head that night.
That's what I mean.
It's a big problem. So, if you're dedicated, you get up and go. And no matter what the weather, no matter what the time, it's what we do.
Now, Steve, what are some of the issues, the big ones today, pending in front of the Firemen's Association of the State of New York?
Well, we have a number of them. Recruitment and retention is a big thing. I told you about the Recruit New York program and the tuition reimbursement. One of the one of the big issues that we're faced with right now is we're trying to get a bill passed that the state will enhance the volunteer fireman's benefit law, which is workman's compensation for the volunteer fire service, that would recognize certain cancers as being directly related to the work of firefighting. The career firefighters have this coverage now. It's recognized that cancers that they get are a direct result from the job of firefighting. But we are unable to get that bill passed at the present time. And that's one of our big issues right now.
And I would think, in fairness to anybody, you want to volunteer and do good works, but for instance, you're a college student, you're working in a restaurant. If you can't get to work, you can't pay the college bills, you want to get the college education. And if you want to be part of this and get injured on the job, there certainly should be some type of compensation that at least covers your medical needs.
There is there is compensation for most injuries. However, this cancer impairment bill is being held up in the state assembly, and we're trying to move it forward. It's just something that needs to be done to protect the people that are protecting you.
You mentioned tuition reimbursement. That's always interesting. Can you tell us something about that? Does that mean for college?
Yes. The Firemen's Association received a grant a number of years ago, similar to a grant that Nassau and Suffolk counties had, where a volunteer firefighter that went to a community college would be reimbursed based on the grade that he got in the college. And that grant expired about a year ago, but we have continued to fund that program out of our own pocket. So it's been working very well. We believe we've, over the course of the grant and the ensuing couple of years that we've been continuing, we believe we've recruited approximately 20,000 volunteer firefighters throughout the state.
And again, I think that's a great resume builder. Not that should be the reason they do it. They enjoy it. This is love that they have and the camaraderie. But you see that someone's a volunteer firefighter. It says a lot about them, about their character, their discipline, and their love of the local community. How about partners? A lot of businesses today partner up with different organizations. Are there any partners or organizations that work with the different fire departments or your organization per se?
We have a number of sponsors on the state level. Again, local fire departments work with businesses in their communities on a number of different initiatives, and it's always nice to have that input from the businesses in the community that knows that they support what you're doing and appreciate it.
When you say businesses and input, can you tell us some of the things a business could do? I mean, do they donate to something to your raffle, or is there really a hands-on type of equipment they could help you with? The fire districts and the villages and the two cities have tax money that purchases the equipment that's used for firefighting. But some of the different fire departments do different fundraising efforts to provide additional benefits to their membership. And businesses can donate raffle prizes or donate programs or printing of programs, or in some cases different foods are donated. Just something that makes it a little bit easier for the fire company and shows the business's appreciation for what they're doing. Can you tell us some things that people would probably be surprised to learn about their local fire department? We probably pass the building every day, but, we don't know what goes on behind
Well, I think
doors.
people would be very surprised to know that on Long Island, there are 71 fire departments in Nassau County. I believe there's 102 in Suffolk, and there's only 2 paid departments out of all of those close to 200 fire departments. And
So I guess we better be nice to you volunteers.
Well, I don't know if it's a matter of being nice. Like I said before, just a simple thank you. That's all. That's all most people are looking for. They enjoy what they're doing and take great pleasure in serving their communities.
As parents, we all tell our children, do well in school, eat the right foods and all that. Can you give us some fire safety tips that you've experienced that parents, especially in a house with their children, should be especially aware of and maybe want to red flag it to put the alert on for them?
Well, I think anybody that's taken a fire prevention course will certainly know the importance of the fire smoke detectors, carbon monoxide detectors. People that are cooking should never leave the stove unattended when there's a toddler or a young child in a house. Simple common sense things. Don't run an extension cord under your carpeting. Stuff that you've heard in school since time immemorial.
But did someone tell me common sense isn't all that common?
Well, unfortunately, that people again do things that they subconsciously they're not thinking.
Biggest mistake, like most of us make. Let's say a fire breaks out. We see something in the house. I don't know if it's usually electrical or in the backyard from leaves or a barbecue. What is the first thing we should do?
First thing you should do is make sure that everybody in your family or in the area is safe. Get them out of the house, out of the backyard, out of the car. And the second thing you do is contact the fire department. But the first thing is make sure everybody is safe. Do not re-enter a building. That happens many, many times where people will get everybody out or think everybody's out or maybe somebody's missing or they'll go back for the dog or the cat. Once you're out, stay out. Don't go back in.
And don't try to put it out ourselves.
It's not a good idea. It doesn't usually have very successful results.
We're going to listen to you because you're the first vice president of the Fire Association of the state of New York, so you know what you're talking about. Steve, we'd like to thank you so much for being with us today, and we'd like our audience once again to know that our guest has been Steve Klein. He's the former chief of the Oceanside Fire Department and now the first vice president of FASNY, the Firemen's Association of the state of New York. Once again, Steve, if someone is interested in joining, what should they do?
Contact their local fire department.
Again, thanks for being with us, and to Steve and to our audience, thanks for being with us on another edition of My Hometown on 90.3 WHPC.
We like to get your feedback on My Hometown. Send your comments to whpc@ncc.edu. My Hometown is produced by Jim Green, executive producer. Nassau Community College, where success starts and continues. Till next time, this is Bill St. James. And remember, there's no town like your hometown.